Are there any elements of the course which you feel, I know you're enjoying it all, but anything that you feel particularly supports you in your progression?
I'm going to use a word that I've been writing a lot in essays. It's holistic. It's one of those courses which everything links with everything else, and you can't, because I think I was surprised at that again. And none of the other courses I've done have ever been like that, and so I was learning all about the EYFS in the professional side of things, and then having to use that when looking at legislation. It went on and on and on, and then I was doing observations, and each part of the course links with everything else, and that's been nice because I know that I've already done some of the work, and I'll get an essay in a completely different module, and I'll think, oh, that touches on my knowledge of this from the first year, and I've pulled out my old essay and I've looked in and I've found some of the references that I've used. I thought, that's brilliant, that's exactly what I'm going to use, and I've used it in my essay, and I think that's been great. The way the whole module links together has been perfect for that, and made it much easier, to be honest.
And it doesn't feel like you're actually doing a degree, it just feels like you're picking up the books to read through them for enjoyment factor, so for me it's been great that way.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself progressing? Do you know at this stage?
Well, I don't know, that's the thing. I think I'm going through a period of transition where I'm feeling like I want to look at early years as my main option now. I'm being pressured by my partner to go into teaching because she feels like financially we'll be better off, and things will be a lot firmer on that side of things, but I disagree, to be honest. I feel like early years is a burgeoning sector that really the national curriculum is almost going to have to look at and change according to, and there's a lot more coming through early years that's much more positive and making a big effect on education. So I think I'd like to dip my toes in early years, definitely.
I feel like I would enjoy more one-to-one interaction with the children and the families, and go down that sort of route, and maybe look at the deprived sort of areas.
And sport type, community-based work.
Well, anything that's available, really. I think there's probably a role for me out there that's not been made yet, so I think I might even set up a Dom pit.
I definitely think early years as well is making difference to children sooner, and it's more drastic, and I know I'm dealing with children at the foundation stage in reception that I almost feel like I'm battling against just their 4 years that they've been around. Whereas I know if I'd have got hold of that little boy at 2, I'd have made a bigger impact on him, and would have helped his cognitive development and his language development by the time he was 4 and going into reception. And so it's almost like thinking, right, I'm going to take that step forward and affect that child sooner, and maybe even affect the parents, because at school there's a bit more of a distance between a teacher and parent, whereas at a nursery it's definitely a lot more playful, the relationship between practitioners and the parents when they come to pick up the kids. And I think it's at that stage that you can actually influence parents and hopefully, help them, because no one knows how to be a parent. You're very lucky if you think you do by the time you have your first child, and
it doesn't come with a manual.
No, it really doesn't. So to have a practitioner say, why don't you try this at home, or I've already prepared this for you, just would make your life easier as a parent. And I think maybe that's where I want to be, and that's what I want to do.